Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's talk a little bit about promotion. And before I read this viewer mail, one of the places where, or one of the groups that I think was doing a really bad job and is now doing a really good job, and I think it shows how simple it can be, is the WWE. So whether you're a wrestling fan or not, take a moment to check out their social media, Twitter, whatever you happen to be. But Twitter is nice and easy. You can click, go to their profile, and what they do is they are feeding quite a lot of posts every single day related to kind of building the storylines, building the results. In some cases, trying to appear a little bit more like a pro sports team. When there's a live event, they've got large graphics that will highlight whether or not a title changed hands, who won the match, and it's very on point. And this is not always the case. I think the WWE used to have a pretty terrible social media presence, and they're just infrequent posts, and then posts it did have were unrelated often to what was going on in the actual show. And it's changed to the point where now it's a direct companion to what's happening. And the majority of it's easy. There's parts that's not. They definitely do also post little video clips, and those are again easy if you're a multimedia company, but in the grand scheme of things, much harder than a very simple post, a very simple graphic. They have this exact same template that they churn out, which allows them to post the winners. It's just simple. And if you think about a massive kind of media company and what they could do to promote, this is a nice, easy way to do it. It's drama free. It gets people talking. People who are happy or upset with the results can continue on in social media, and they can share it. And it's kind of built to retweet or, reshare. So all of these things, I think, do a really good job, are cheap. You could accomplish all of that, minus, again, the videos, getting that footage, editing it, putting it in, takes, slightly more challenge. Although, you've got a whole legion of, tweens doing TikTok. So, I mean, how hard can it be? My daughter is doing my channel at this point. I think, put it this way, my daughter could do it. So that would be fine. At 12, that's the barrier. Anyway, you can, so I think they're showing how simple it could be. So let's head on to this mail. And what does this have to do with comics? Well, everything. It says, "Hey, Verge, hope you're doing well. Recently, I was on Instagram, saw a post from Jorge Jimenez talking about how his new Batman #1 issue with Matt Fraction had sold out and was going to second printing. I got excited about that and went to Twitter to see if there had been an official announcement about how well this comic was doing and how they're excited to be doing a second printing, etc., etc. But when I went to DC's official Twitter page, at DC Official, I was a bit confused. Not only was their most recent tweet from August 22nd, almost 3 weeks ago as of this writing, but I couldn't find any tweets or about comics. Everything was about either a movie, a TV show, or a video game. I went to their Facebook page, and it was the same thing. The last time they gave any promotion to a comic was on August 28th for the new Batman series, basically coming out. On Marvel's Twitter account, it was the exact same thing. They could tell you about every movie, TV show, and mobile game, but when it comes to comics, they're either unable or unwilling to let audiences know what's coming out. Their Facebook page is a little better. They actually mention comics, but why the lack of effort? Personally, if I was working at DC Comics on a book, I'd be a bit pissed. They can't say that people aren't reading the comics when they're too busy posting clips from Peacemaker or from the new Superman movie. Isn't there some intern who could make an interesting post about what new books are coming out this week? Did marketing give up? Is there even a marketing advertising department anymore for comics? Yes, but let's be honest, no. Just what is going on besides nothing? Hope you're well. So what is going on besides nothing? Look, marketing in the big two, there's no better way to put it, it's abysmal. And every now and then I get a letter from a creator who takes me to task for being too negative about, the poor marketing people who are they're working really, really hard. And, it's not fair that and their hands are tied. There's things they can't do, and blah, on and on it goes. The struggle I have here is that it's not hard. It is not hard to promote a book. It's actually, I gave that whole, intro to WWE. Comic books are as dead simple to make, to basically promote, especially in these formats. You can take a clip, if you can use screen capture on your computer, which I look, if the editors do not have the technical capability of being able to take a screenshot, then what what is going on? But imagine two things. Number one, like the WWE does, when there's a match and they promote the winners, they have the, and still champion, and they have a little, headshot with a little template on top of it. The graphic looks nice, but it's a template. They're just dropping in, they're editing the text, and then they're hitting save. It's really, really simple. Every week, these companies come out with comics. You don't think it would be that time consuming to do a tweet each for every new comic comes out? Yeah, I mean, granted, Marvel and DC come out with a lot, but you're talking 14 to 18 comics that Marvel puts out. They can't, to have a template, say, in stores right now, bat number one, put the creators there, maybe put the price there. Hell, if you want to get super crazy, fantastic about it, link it to their page where there's a summary, copy the solicitation text that they produced and just put it in the tweet. In this issue, this is what happens. Like, how simple would that be? Once a week, 18 posts. Space them out so they come out about every 15, 20 minutes. Hell, do them on Monday and just set them to start posting. It would be so incredibly easy. And then throughout the week, you can't just have 2 to 3 posts a day. Using a screenshot tool, cutting and pasting a panel that's kind of exciting. What could Batman be talking about here? I mean, you don't like this stuff's already image. It's a visual medium. So it's tailor-made for this stuff. It's so simple. And the goal of this is, one, it's free. Free is in little quotes because you've got to pay an intern or somebody to do it. But I mean, come on. The website AIPT, which is not a friend of me, and I'm not a friend of them. No, I mean, it's nice that they're trying, but this site unnecessarily just takes shots at me from time to time for no apparent effing reason. But anyway, they should not be beating $2 billion media companies at marketing, and they do. I'll pay them a compliment despite all their shots. They promote their articles and do more than Marvel and DC do. How can this be? I mean, literally, how? It's so easy to promote. And there's lots of different kinds of marketing and lots of different kinds of promotion, but it is unacceptable to go on to DC's site. And I went on to DC's site a couple days ago, and I don't remember why I did this, but I was headed over there, and I had the same experience. It's like, wait a minute. Why is it super old? Meaning there wasn't anything that looked modern. The posts were antique on there. And then they were a bunch of very generic clips about kind of Superman and Peacemaker. And it's fun to see John Cena smiling around, and I'm not saying you don't get rid of those, but you're how many movies and shows are you producing a year? Not a ton. So this year it's Superman. You've got Peacemaker out there, but there's some other, I think there are other shows that are coming out, but it's not like you have a massive amount of content. And as fun as it is kind of to see John Cena kind of grinning in the background with some cameras there as he's getting ready to film something, it's there's only so much of that you can do. Meanwhile, you're putting out 80 comics a month filled with images, filled with things you probably do want to promote. Even if you don't care about your comic book business, certainly, you want your your social media presence to look like it's alive, to look like you're doing something. And I think when the effect when a site just kind of stops posting after a while, it looks like they've given up or they've walked away or it's dead or it's a sign of, no activity happening here. And that's, that then it looks like, you ever been to a mall where, the mall is clearly dying, where half the stores are shuttered and, it's now you start seeing weird stores pop up. The one that always gets me is when a church runs services out of a store in the mall. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this, but it's they'll do it. It's like this used to be a Borders bookstore, and then that went out of business, so that it became a Forever 21. And then that went out of business, and so you have this kind of relatively big space, this kind of big retail space. So it's like Tabernacle Church Services. It's like, oh no, that's not a sign. That's not something you want in a mall. Something that's going to do, Bible study and Sunday services, and for the rest of the time, it's just nothing. Malls are for shopping. Anyway, that's what it looks like. That's what DC and Marvel Official both look like. They look like a mall that's dying. And the argument of comics is dying, comics is a corpse, and everything else, I always think is overblown. I think there's a lot of wish fulfillment in there for people. It's I don't think it's helpful conversation the majority of the time. But it would be nice if the big companies didn't keep doing things that, that had build that case. It's not some rando on Twitter who's going after Marvel, making them look bad. It's the company themselves. So anyway, I'm not just saying I boiled down marketing and promotions to social media tweets, and there's a ton of marketing and promotions that can and should be done. But this is an easy one, really, really easy. And for that matter, to get back to one thing the original mail said, you should have a template there that says, sold out, now went to second printing, a little image of the comic. And then when this happens, you just you drop it in. Really easy. Anyway, come on, DC. How hard would this be? Anyway, thanks for listening.